Hey, coaches, welcome back again to Football Talk with Coach Chip. This is our series we're doing during the season. The year, if you're looking at it in the future, is 2024. This is Labor Day weekend. Most people have started their season. As I told you on the last episode, we're going to use the Alabama schedule because that's the one I was on for so long, nearly 4 decades. 37 in Alabama, 3 in Georgia. Georgia starts a tad bit earlier in Alabama. But this past Thursday and Friday was what we call week 1. The week before was week 0. We won't go into that. And we're troubleshooting. Coaches email me. Some that know me well will call or text me. And every Sunday or Monday during football season, we're going to troubleshoot some of the issues. And not all of them that I get on here. Some of them I send back and say, hey, da-da-da-da. Because I can't do them all. I'm doing 3 today. We're going to do a duo question, a power question, and a jet question. Before we get started, let's pay a few bills and talk a little bit about what's going on. All right, don't forget the Football Talk with Coach Chip, the podcast. If you have an idea for a video or a podcast guest, contact me at siegel.chip@gmail.com. You can find the podcast on Spotify and Apple. I know it's in season. If you can spare 45 minutes just to talk to me on the phone, I would love to get you on the podcast. We're running out. I'm going to have to do some solo podcasts. I did a bunch over the summer with coaches, and we're running out. So y'all going to have to listen to me talk on the podcast or listen to me have a conversation with somebody on the podcast. It's your call. And I've got a bunch of guys I can get to do it. To be honest with you, I just don't want to ask them during the season because I don't want to be turned down, and I don't want them to do it just out of an obligation because of our friendship over the years. So I'm holding back on some of that, and we'll get them during the off season when they have a little more time to spare. You know, you don't ask Santa Claus to do a lot of things during the month of December. And that's my analogy about football coaches. You know, September, October, November, that's Christmas for football coaches, as December is Santa's time to work. And so that's what we're going to do. All right, don't forget our jet manual, which came out this past summer. It is still going pretty well. And the offensive line manual, which is the biggest thing we've ever done here at Football Talk with Coach Chip. And you say, well, Coach, season's already started. Well, you know, like I said, I'm doing these troubleshooting videos. Y'all are having issues. The offensive line manual, if you're a gap down backer team, if you're a gap scheme team, and you have issues, this may be something to help you. If you're trying to run the jet, you're having some issues, the jet manual will be a big help to you. I know it will. It's been a big help to everybody that has participated in it and called me and emailed me and texted me to get a copy of it. So there's the offensive line manual. There's the jet manual. If you want to dive deeper, if you've already purchased one of these, you want me to visit with you by phone or by Zoom or whatever, give me a holler at siegel.chip@gmail.com. I'm doing the Zoom consultations, and we can troubleshoot your issues you're having right now. All right, that's enough of me blabbering about that. Let's get busy and talk about what we're troubleshooting. All right, first troubleshooting scenario this week. We had one last week in week 0 about duo, and here's another one. Guy emailed me they're having issues with the Mike linebacker making the play. Kids aren't coming off to make their blocks. I forgot to put the guard in right there, or I did and I deleted it. This is my just play. I love it. It's the best. $149 I spend. Hey, my just play people, you know, we could work out a little something. Like, don't charge me for it, and I give you in every episode of Football Talk with Coach Chip, I mention you. What do you say? I'm here. Call me. All right, the question was about the Mike linebacker. And so I asked him, I said, so what is the deal? And we were able to come up with a couple of potential things it could be that they could work on. It could be that the linemen are burying their faces in the block. That could be it. They're burying their faces in the block on the defensive lineman. If that's the case, you need to teach them to get long on their blocks. And what I mean by that, That's what I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. He has a great Twitter page or X feed. Now, I heard him speak years ago, and he talked about playing long. And it does two things. When you're double teaming, it keeps your face out of the defensive lineman so you can see your linebackers on your combo double teams on duo power counter. And also, it keeps your face out of it and keeps your head out of it, so it's safer. You know, that's what they're doing now. Everybody's blocking with hands at the upper echelons and a lot of the lower echelons too. And so I said, well, that's one problem right there. You need to do a drill where your linemen are blocking the D linemen. Your offensive linemen are blocking the D linemen, but their eyes are on that Mike backer if they're not coming off. The other thing is, I said, what are your running backs doing? He said, they're pressing A gap, just like you said, you know, on your video back in the spring. And I said, but what are they keying? What are they reading? And that could be an issue. They've got to read the key linebacker. That's why I got him highlighted in red. If that dude inserts here in that A gap, he's got to bend out here to B. Run where he ain't, as Wee Willie Keeler, great hitter from over 100 years ago in baseball, said. He said, how are you so good at hitting, Willie? He goes, I hit it where they ain't. And you got to run where they ain't on duo and other things as well. Because he was thinking about, you know, should we go in a different direction? Should we zone? Should we power? And I said, listen, dude, the only thing you're going to do that's not going to involve double teams is man blocking. And what is this, 1968? Nobody man blocks anymore. And there's a reason for that. Some call it cat blocking. You got this cat, I got this cat. Or gap down backer, which involves changing everything up on your offensive line. So if you go to the God blocking, like blocking power, you still got the combo double teams. You haven't addressed the issue of the kids burying their faces in the block on the line. If you go zone, you're going to have double teams on zone blocking. The only difference is the line's responsible for the play side gap instead of the backside gap. And that was the other thing we talked about, is about the gap responsibilities. If they walk cats up in these gaps, now y'all got to think about this. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that they're both walked up. Now, we would tell our linemen, if they're walked up, we'd have like an area. It's like if they're 3 yards or closer, consider them on. If they're 3 yards or closer, consider them on, because they can plug so quick from that lack of depth. If they're like 3 yards instead of 4 or 5, if they're up here 3 yards from the line of scrimmage, you got, even if they're not coming, if they read, if they're not blitzing, what I'm saying, if they fast plug right there, I don't know that you're quick enough to get off to get him. So that's when you make your gap call. And remember now, in duo, everybody's got the gap to their left. So if it's duo right, everybody's got that gap to their left. So this backside guard would look over at his center and say gap, letting the center know you've got no help. You're blocking that nose in the A gap on your own, because I've got to block this cat right here. His wheels walked up within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. Same thing over here. If that Mike is walked up 3 or closer, consider him on. Guard looks at his tackle and says gap. Lets him know, I've got to get him. You got the 3 tech, the tackle by yourself. I just randomly pulled this one. We got one with a tight end here, and I prefer blocking it this way. If your tight end can't dig that 7 out, to me, it's an automatic. You get a 7-9 squeeze on duo or power, you might as well block it this way right here, because you just got a better angle. The tight end's got a better angle on that 9 backer, and the H, or your plug, has got a better angle on that 7 tech. And so we're not talking about that right now. I just looked over there and said some of y'all may be wondering what that is for. But if they're walked up in the gap, there is no double team, because they're comboing. All right, look here. The G and the T, excuse me, the center and the G, they're combo double teaming the nose to the wheel. All right? So if the guys walked up, that's who they're responsible for anyway. So it's just predetermined before the snap. The guard knows, and he needs to tell his center, hey, man, gap, or whatever call you want to make. That's a generic call. You can come up with something else. I know you got imaginations. Boom. Same thing here. They're combo double teaming to the Mike, the play side guard, and the play side tackle. Well, if he's walked up 3 or closer, they're just going ahead and say, they're telling you this is where I'm fitting, because they're going to play trouble now trying to fit over the top of blocks from that close a depth. So if they're 3 yards or closer, and depends on your league, your team, your opponents, you may want to say 2 yards or closer, whatever. But it's got to be something your lineman can react to and recognize. So this is how you handle that. The other thing that we saw as we were talking is that running back trying to cram it in a gap when the Mike is fitting. That's your key read. Run where he ain't. I mentioned it a while ago. Run where he ain't. You've got to do a drill. And believe me, a drill's much better than scrapping something at this point in the season. You got to do a drill where that guy reacts to that and runs where the backer ain't. This could be the running back coach standing over there or another running back, and you just rotate and do the drill. If he goes here, then you come here. If he comes here, then you go there. You just run where they ain't. All right, here you see the same play versus an odd front. Remember, I always like starting on the backside. It's duo right. So he's got backside gap. He's got his backside gap. He got his backside gap, but nothing's there, so he's combo double teaming here. To the wheel. Same principle we talked about a while ago. Unless that wheel walks up within that 3-yard level right there, you're going to combo double team. If he walks up, you go ahead and make the call. Tell the guard, you got the nose, because I got the wheel. And we make the gap calls, what we call it. All right, same thing over here on this side. If this guy walks up within that 3-yard level right there, you make a gap call and the combo's off. You're still got a hat for a hat, which is the whole principle of the play. Right. And remember, same thing, you're still reading that key linebacker. So if he plugs right here, he fits right here, then the running back needs to bend it out here to the B. Same principle. If he walks up, no, right now I'm going to press it here, but I know I'm bending it now because we know we got the kick out block by the fullback or the H, your plug, your sniffer right here. And if that guy walks up and we got a gap call, you know that right there, he's going to wash that in. The tight end's going to wash that end down. Tackle's going to wash that Mike backer down, and you're going to run it right there. But you still press it to set them up, but you know you're bending it. Got that? All right, let's go to another question. All right, now this question was about power. Gap down. One of my gap down backer guys bought the book, and he was asking. He says, "Coach," he said, "we're having a debate." This was yesterday because this is Monday. This is Labor Day, and I guess they were having their coaches meeting. So they're having a debate over same side power as opposed to the running back being on the backside. And I said, well, I love same side power. It's very physical. It gets downhill. The dude's over here on this side. He's going to take that slide step and press that A gap, and you're going to run power. Here's the problem with same side power that I've run into. Now, you can set your Z over here. So now you've got an RPO if you want it over here with that outside backer, but you got nothing now to constrain that will linebacker on the backside from running through. You say, especially against an odd front, and I'll show you that in a minute. But even against an even front, they can bring that nose right here, spike him on the snap, make him a heavy, heavy one. And as soon as that ball snap, he slants here. And because your center's blocking back, he doesn't get him. And now your guard's got to get him. Well, who's going to get the wheel? And you say, well, the center will. Well, the center's been blocking back flat the whole game. And that guy, now you got to run through. And I'll show you on the odd front, it's really a problem. This RPO is so easy. And this is one, and y'all may remember us talking about it a long time ago. Even my raggedy 62-year-old arm, I can throw this. The ability to read it's still there. The arm's not like it used to be. But just a year ago, I was teaching this to somebody, and I ran it. You're just throwing the ball about 10 yards, and all you're doing is doing what I call a slant sit, and sitting him down where the wheel came from. And that's going to stop that joker sucking eggs on the backside. But if you run same side power, you have no such constraint over that wheel because the quarterback has to turn his back to that guy. If you're wanting to run RPOs, you about got to do it backside if you're having an issue with backside run-throughs. And if you're not, shoot, man, go same side power all day long. And if you have no issue picking him up, same side it, because it's a whale of a play, because it gets downhill in a hurry. I like the backside power with the guy crossing the quarterback's face just for the read purpose of it. I really do. But it's, it's tomato, tomato, potato, potato. It's what you prefer, what's best for your kids. But the question was, which do I prefer? And the problem is this cat right here, that Will Backer. That's why I got him in blue, because he's the read. If you're having an issue with backside run through from the Will Backer and your line can't solve it for whatever reason, this is the way to go right here. It's short, sweet, and to the point. I've got umpteen RPO videos on here. You go back and look at them. Just go to you're on the channel now. Go up there and search the channel. Type in RPO. Tells you exactly how to do it and put it in. You can have that joker in by your next practice. Cross my heart. All right, I want to give equal time to the odd front because I always have guys that say, you don't show the odd front. I don't always anymore because I do it now. This is where it's an issue. This guy coming right here. This Will Backer coming right through here when he sees that guard pull. And it's really a problem versus odd fronts. That's why I prefer, if you put him over here and do same side power, now the quarterback turns his back on that Will Backer. So that's an issue. And you say, well, isn't the tackle going to get him? Yeah, in a perfect world. But if this guy's making plays, he's running through. Or what if that nose slants here and he's got that A gap? Your guard gets him, and then this guy comes right underneath right here. Nobody going to get him. Again, that center, that's a tough block, guys. If he takes one flat step backside, put him right here, he's supposed to be head up. If he takes one flat step backside, you're screwed. So that's why you've got that backside RPO, and if you run it with the running back crossing face, you've got the ability to read the problem. Now, if you're like, again, you're not having a problem with it, screw it. Don't worry about it. You're good. And I'm not being sarcastic. Seriously. All right, let's go to another play. The third and final play on this troubleshooting episode of Football Talk with Coach Chip. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and subscribe if we're not subscribing. When you're through watching the video, check and see if you're subscribing. Some of y'all think you're subscribing because it keeps popping up on your feed. That's because you watch it every time it comes out. And Google's algorithm knows you watch it and it's popping up. It doesn't cost anything. You won't get spammed by me, by Google, by Alphabet, by YouTube. I promise. And if you do, it's not me. And go ahead and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us. It helps the channel. It helps the channel, and it gets it out there to more coaches, and it just helps old Coach Chip out, okay? All right, the last question was about jet, and they were having a problem trying to block it the way I like blocking it, pulling the play side guard. All right, and I told him first thing, I said, all right, your timing's off. Your timing's off. Nobody has Usain Bolt playing 3-tech in high school football. And if that joker's making the play, the only way he can do it, if he sees that motion and he's coming just like this, and he is real fast, let's say. And if that's happening, shoot, you'd be coming back running that quarterback power and A-gap, dude, that gut block it. But anyway, so I told him, I said, Coach, until you get your timing down pat, you need to just full reach it and reach that 3-tech. And just spend more time, working on your timing. You ain't got to use the whole team to do it and run the jet drill. You can just do it with the quarterback and have one person over here checking their timing. But until the timing is down pat, and that's in the jet book, and I even show you a video of a poorly timed jet where a guy that probably in 3 years of playing for us probably had over 2,000 yards in just jet. He's a slot receiver. But he got run down by a guy from coming in here, and it wasn't even a real fast kid, and it was because the ball was snapped way the heck over here. You got to snap that thing appropriately. And I always say in gun, it's the backside tackle. And all this is in the jet book. You need to get the jet book. If you're running jet and you're having issues, $50 is not too much to fix a play that you're trying to hang your hat on, okay? And it's 220-something pages of nothing but jet. And if it doesn't answer all your questions, I'm available to you to answer the questions in the jet manual. But get the jet manual. You've got to run the hump. First off, make sure your Z or your jetter, whatever you call him, is running the hump. You know, not everybody runs the hump because they're fast enough, but maybe your guy's not. Make sure he's running the hump when you run jet drill. Make sure he's running the hump when you're just working on the jet mesh with the quarterback and the Z or the slot guy. But he's got to get back, and that makes it even worse. Harder for them to try to catch him from behind when you're pulling that guard. And that's what we're trying to promote by pulling that guard. We're trying to get movement and get that tackle to widen out at 3-tech and chase so we can run that quarterback gut. When he sees that jet motion and he starts flying out, that's when you can run that quarterback gut and you can gash their natural-born butts inside. We're trying to get them to vacate the play side A-gap. Because we can get these guys on the gut, but we can't get everybody. And so we want that guy flowing, and that tackle just makes it easier right there. Boom, right there, just him running out. But it gets you an extra body out there to pick off a linebacker that's coming when you pull the guard. Now, I'm not going to show this to you in an odd front, because if you're having issues pulling the guard in an odd front, then your timing is horrific. But snapping the ball over here, and how can I tell if my timing's off just by looking at it, Coach, unless it's being exposed? Here's how you can tell. Look and see where the ball, if the quarterback's holding the football for more than a second after he catches it, your timing's off. He needs to be giving that thing up, whether you're doing the little touch pass or whether you're handing it off. He needs to catch and release just that quick. Catch and release. You got to get rid of it. If that quarterback's holding the ball and waiting, he's either snapping it too soon or your jetter is too slow and he needs to speed up. And if he's going fast as he can go, then you need to find another jetter or find another play. But that's the truth. Because if the quarterback's holding the football, you've got issues, timing issues, and you can fix that. And you may need to adjust your snap point. Where the ball is snapped. Where the Z is when the ball is snapped is what I call the snap point. If he's really fast, probably right here. If he's not that fast, he's fast enough to run jet, but maybe snap it right here. Default, we start with backside tackle. If we're getting rid of it and the quarterback is doing it quick, because the Z's so fast, snapping it here, we're good. Now, let's look at another option you can do. I love this option. We didn't do it a lot. We didn't need to. But if you're having issues, the least most important block beside the ones on the backside on jet, they don't matter, is the corner. Because I'm telling you, if the corner's coming up making plays on jet, why the crap are you not throwing jet passes right behind his butt? If you got a running back, remember we call him tail in our offense. If you got a running back that can make that good old-fashioned junction block like we used to do in the old days and split back veer with a speed option, we call that a junction block. Wishbone guys did it on the triple, that play side right there. If he can make that block, and when I say make that block, I don't mean to go and knock that guy down. I mean get over there and get in that cat's way. And the guy starts running up like this, then your running back can kick him. And if he starts coming in here because your wide receiver's blocking down, cracking on the outside backer, then that's perfect. You get out here and you just shield him off and get in his way. If he's right here and he's doing this, that's good stuff, cuz. You got to love that. But notice what we're doing. We're cracking everything. We're going to crack the wide receiver down on the backer. Hang on, there's a problem with that. Block down just like you do on Buck with the H, the wing. Block down on the 3. That's if the timing. You can't get the timing issue fixed, or maybe you're a sub-varsity team. You just don't have the time because, you don't practice 2 or 3 times a week. You got to get it in an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And you play every Saturday morning or whenever it is you do it. This may be the easiest thing to do. Just crack it and just block down. And if you do have good timing and you still want to crack it and you're not worried about the 3, you can pull the tackle too. Turn the thing into a Green Bay Packer power sweep. And there's a section devoted to this in the Jet manual. But this is a good way to block it. We did it a little bit depending on who we're playing. Now here's the issue. When they see that motion, is this guy coming down, putting himself in a position where your wide receiver can't crack him. One thing you do, you ain't got to widen him as much. You can tighten him up, okay, snug him down some, almost like a flex. See what they do then. If they start playing that guy outside, then you need to be running buck or power because he can't help on the off-tackle play if he starts playing outside your Y. When you snug him down, I'm telling you, put him in here like 3 or 4 yards. Cheat him down a little bit, okay, and then he can make it. But if he's coming up like this, dude, hey, call jet or call your jet pass and tag this, where this guy just comes right here, comes down, and then boom, right there, and hit him. If the corner comes flying in like this, and it's a pass play. It's not jet now. You call your jet pass. You have him come down like it's going to crack and then get vertical right there. Don't let him get down the field. Hit him right here. See what I'm talking about? Right there. And if that corner is coming in here like this, then you got your tailback swinging right here. Can't cover both of them, guys. If that backer is flying up when he sees jet motion to where he can't get cracked, the next thing you call, remember, this ain't the NFL, and this ain't major college football. Those guys will see something and they'll file it away and come back to it, 2 quarters later. You ain't got to do that. You can do that next time you're in a jet situation. Could be the next play. If on 1st and 10 you run jet and you've been running jet well and cracking that guy, so their adjustment is to bring that backer up right here, and he makes the tackle. And now it's 2nd and 12 or 13. Shoot. But it's fresh. Hey, he's hyped up. Coach told him what to do. He did it. He made the tackle. He's a hero. Good for him. Fixing to make him break him from sucking eggs. Bring that guy in jet motion. Boom, step back, hit him hot right here. If the corner comes cheating in like that, when he sees it, then you got this guy over here swinging. Call it a sluggo swing. You got a sluggo and a swing. What's everybody else doing? They're blocking jet pass. Tell your H. He's blocking down. Because when he gets that down block right there, they're thinking, oh, yeah, that's that jet again. They're cracking us. But that's it's easy. And again, it's a short pass. You don't have to have Dan Marino or John Elway or Patrick Mahomes sitting back there behind the center to run this. He's a real quick. I'm not talking about let him get down the field. I'm talking about come down like he's going to crack, get vertical, and hit his butt right here about 5, 6, 7 yards down the field. Because that's good stuff. All right, guys, that's it for this episode of Football Talk with Coach Chip. We covered a duo question, we covered a power question, and we covered a jet question. And there was some more, and I answered them too. Send them to me, siegel.chip@gmail.com. Hey, opportunity to support. Appreciate y'all that have done so. Buymeacoffee.com/Coach Chip. Okay, just look at it like you're giving me a tip. That all this stuff is free. We're going to keep it free. But there's just an opportunity to support the channel and support what I think is good football. Hey, we got summer freebies. Still got that. Now we're going to call them fall freebies because it's football season now. Still got the sample practice schedule where you can change it. I say it's a sample. It's actually a video. It's a Excel spreadsheet file, and you can plug in your stuff to it, set up on 5-minute increments. And you can do it ever how you want to do it, make your practices more organized, get more out of your practice with less amount of time with this practice schedule. I guess it's not a sample much as a template. Also, another fall freebie, you didn't like it. Hey, you're 2 games into the season. You don't like your call sheet. Check this one out. Guess what? It's free. Again, it's a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet file. I'll send it to you. Then you can plug in. You can see how I formatted this over the years. It's two-sided, and it's not for, offenses with, you say, that's a lot of stuff, coach. It's really not that much. I just plugged all this stuff in just so y'all get an idea. You go in and you delete it and put your stuff in there. And then we also got down and distance scenarios, scripts on the back. This is the back of it. Got a 2-point conversion chart. Got even more stuff like at what point in the fourth quarter can my quarterback start taking a knee? Got that charts on the back, stuff that I used, every Friday night for years. And you can take it and put it in all these different scripts. This is how we were able to go fast when we wanted to. And even when we weren't going fast, it gave us plenty of time on the play clock to already have the play. We knew what we were going to run next. As long as we stayed ahead of the sticks, we knew what we were going to run. And that way we could do all kind of motion and shifting stuff too if we wanted to, or whatever how you want to do it. And like I said, it's got down and distance too. So if you're on script and you get behind the sticks and now it's 2nd and 8 and your script is for it to be 2nd and 5 or 6, you go over to your call sheet, look at your 2nd and 8 calls, and there you go. You'll have 2, 3, 4, however many you put in there, and that's on down here. But it's on the front of the call sheet, plays that you've already called at Sunday meeting or whenever it is you get together as a staff, things that you want to run in that situation. You got 2 or 3 right there, boom, you call them. Maybe a pass play, a run play, maybe a counter play, whatever it is that you want to put in there. And again, it's right there in front of you. All you do is take your finger, run down, boom, call the play just like that. It's a piece of cake, baby. All right, here's a whole list of them. You can pause it and look at it, blow it up later, whatever you want to do, screenshot it, of all the free resources we have here at Football Talk with Coach Chip. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your coaching buddies. And don't forget to hit me up at siegel.chip@gmail.com with your football questions. I'm not going to help you with your life problems, okay? You're having chick issues, that's on you. And I'm too old to tell you about that anyway. Here's what you need to do. Check this out. See what's there. See what you want. I'll send it to you. All you got to do is ask and be a subscriber, and I'll send it to you. Again, if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe and then like the video. Listen, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me during football season. I hope it's going well. And if it's not going well, I hope it gets better soon. This has been Football Talk with Coach Chip, troubleshooting after week 1. Until next time, coaches, be elite.